Hello guys, welcome to another video. I hope you enjoyed my last video. If you haven't watched it, please go and go to my playlist, go to the video. I'm going to link it somewhere. So go and check it out. It was a heart to heart conversation. I was just basically sharing some things about being an introvert and some things that I've realized and some things I'm going to stop doing. Some things I have stopped doing. But today's video, we're going to be talking about things that I wish I had known earlier as a writer. So, yes, this is also some sort of confession. Yeah. First of all, I come from a family of writers. My dad writes, my mom writes. In fact, my mom teaches English in a secondary school. My elder sister writes. I remember when we were younger, she would write novels and we would be looking forward to every single release you get. So my elder sister writes, my younger brother writes, we are a family of writers. And the funny thing too is I married into a family of writers. So basically, I've been writing for a very long time, but I never thought to take it professionally. As a matter of fact, when I started working for my boss and mentor during one of those our sessions, he was like, I think you should take writing professionally because you're really good. Shout out to Dio. I think you should take writing professionally because you're really good. And I was like, nah, it's just something I want to do for fun. I mean, I want to be able to craft good documents for myself, but I do not really see myself writing for other people. I don't think I have that energy, right? But then he was like, nah, you're really good. I don't think you should restrict yourself. Fast forward a couple years later, after working with him for a while, I started writing professionally. As a matter of fact, I was writing for him, his clients, and also writing for like other people that reached out to me on the side. And so there are certain things that I still didn't do, even though I had started writing professionally. And I feel like everything I'm going to share here might be helpful. So if you're a writer or you just started writing and you maybe want to take it professionally, these are some things that I didn't know at the beginning. And I feel that if I share these things with you, it would help you in one way or the other in your journey. So let's just get into the video. Okay, so with the type of writing that I do, you're telling other people's stories, basically. It's either you're writing for individuals or you're writing for businesses. And so you have to put yourself in their shoes. And it's not really easy to do that because most clients will not tell you the story the way it should be told. Yeah. So you have to do some research. Obviously, research is very important. Research is foundational as a writer. So note that. So you'd have to do research and then you'd also now have to put yourself in their shoes, yeah? And then you tell their story. You take whatever information they give to you and then you write that. So imagine that you have 10 documents to deliver and you have to tell stories for all these people and you're getting clients that are not really giving you what you need. That can be overwhelming. And having to work in that type of environment sometimes, you might feel like you're lazy. That brings me to my first point. You are not lazy. You're not lazy. The truth is, you're just overwhelmed. Because how can you write somebody's story, like 10 different people, all in 1 week or less than that? It can be quite overwhelming. And then you have to do loads and loads and loads of research. And if you're someone like me that has multiple interests, you're not just writing, you're doing other things. So sometimes you might feel like maybe I'm just a lazy writer, but the truth is you're not lazy, you're just overwhelmed. You just need to find a way to structure your writing time, maybe find a separate space for writing. And if you need more time, I would suggest that you do not take on more jobs than you can handle. I know that the money can be good sometimes, but you need to structure your time using tools, using time blocks, anything that would help you so that you do not take a lot more than you can handle. Okay, so that's one thing. You're not lazy, you're just overwhelmed. Secondly, um, there's sometimes when, okay, like right now, if I go over some of the things that I wrote in the past, honestly, I'll cringe because what's all this? Like recently, I went through the post that I made on Medium and I was like, ah, what was I thinking? Like, what kind of story is this? They're not bad, oh, but I've grown past that. Yeah. And sometimes, especially when you have clients that are very nitpicky, you can revise a document over and over again. It's not that you're a bad writer, it's just some people pay more attention to detail. And as a writer, you should pay attention to detail. If you pay more attention to detail, the number of revisions you have with your client would reduce. If you take your time to do necessary research, to put in the work that is needed, the revisions would not be as much. And even if they are, I want you to see it as something that would make you a better writer. Do you understand? Okay, so quite recently, I was writing a thesis for someone, and she gave me the first draft that she wrote. And from that first draft, I wrote my own first draft and I sent it to her. Then she sent it to her supervisor. And then her supervisor made a lot of edits, corrected a lot of things. And when she brought it back, she was even complaining that, oh, her supervisor made a lot of corrections on the document. She doesn't understand. She feels it was perfect, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, this is somebody that has experience. She's a professor. So yes, I know that I write masters and PhD thesis and all of that, but this person has experience. So let's not throw away her advice and say, oh, you're a good writer. There were certain things that she corrected in that document that made me see that I could have approached this particular segment in a better way. So do not take revisions for granted. They are very good. Okay. And then you need to set out time to rest. My boss told me this one. When we were working together, I would write from Mondays to Fridays. We wouldn't write on Saturdays and we wouldn't write on Sundays. And he would tell clients, so let's say a client comes in on Saturday and you're like, oh, I need my work this weekend, blah, blah, blah. We tell them, oh, we don't work on weekends. Or even when we are delivering, we do not deliver jobs on the weekend because you need to take time to rest. You're pouring a lot of creative energy into the documents that you're putting out. So you need to take time to rest. And that rest could include reading books, reading articles, watching different videos that would spark creativity, or listening to conversations that would spark creativity in you as a writer. Let me just put this in here. You need to open your mind to a lot of things because inspiration is everywhere. You can get inspiration just by listening to a conversation, just by reading an article, even scrolling on social media. Yeah, purposefully or not, doom scrolling. Rest is very important as a writer. Even though my boss used to tell me that quite early, I would still sometimes you'll be like, oh, this client just came on, and I'll be like, oh, let me just do it. I'm not doing anything this weekend. But I've now come to realize how important it is to take rest seriously. So rest is something you need to take seriously. Yeah. And growth sometimes might feel like grief. So this brings me to the part where I was learning how to write. Initially, when I started working with my boss, he used to give me early stage documents that didn't really require so much effort. Those are the type of documents I was writing at first. And he would revise those documents like over and over and over and over and over again. And it used to be frustrating to me. Like, why do you keep revising? Can't I just give you a document and you say it's good? Why do you have to keep revising? It's still related to the previous point that I raised about revisions being necessary. That you should take revisions as part of the process. But you know how you do not see that you're growing. Yeah. So I noticed that after a while, his revisions started dropping. There were times that he wouldn't even look at the document anymore and he'll be like, oh, and I just send it across to the client, send it to their email or send it to their WhatsApp number. I know it's good. Now they're trusting me with very, very, very important documents for clients that had over 15 years experience. We now even started working on visa applications, technician documents. It took time. Initially, I felt that he didn't appreciate the amount of effort that I was putting into the work. So I felt grieved, but I didn't know that I was growing. I didn't know that all those little revisions here and there were making me a better writer. And now a couple people have reached out to me and they're like, oh, Anna, teach me how to write. And it's not like they've seen anything that I've done because I haven't really been posting a lot of the things that I have written, or I haven't really been talking about writing, which is something that is changing, by the way, because y'all are going to be hearing about my writing. But a couple of people have reached out to me to teach them how to write. There was somebody that I was talking to recently, and he told me that he had gone through a course, yeah, and these were the things that he was told. And I looked at it and I was like, I didn't have like a formal training, yeah. Like I said before, I had been writing, but then I had now had someone that now channeled that energy into more technical writing and focused writing research and all of that. And then I took some courses to like deepen my understanding, read some articles, but it's not like I had like a formal training. Do you understand? So I practically learned on the job. So when he told me some of the things that this his tutor was telling him about writing, I was like, there's something awful. Maybe it's because my learning how to write was a bit unconventional, but there's something off about this whole process. I just digressed. I don't know why I just digressed. I can't remember what I was saying, but let's just keep going. When it comes to writing, a lot of people these days are focused on a certain type of writing, but One thing that I say to people, for example, if somebody is to make an inquiry about a type of document, I do not say I can't write it. Why? Because I'm a writer. I don't think there's anything I cannot write. Given that I know format for that document, given that I can do research because I'm good at research, yeah, given that I can do that, there's nothing. And this mindset was ingrained in me. Dayo, I'm going to be mentioning you a lot in this video. I'm so sorry, wherever you are. I'm sorry, but Dayo really impacted me a lot. He really impacted my writing journey, and I can't even lie. Dayo would tell me, Anna, we never say no to any document. Whatever it is, we can write it. There were some documents that he would enter my DM and be like, "Oh, Anna, a client just inquired about this type of document," and I'll be like, "Oh, have you written something like this before? Can you put me through?" And he'll be like, "Nah, I've not written it. I've not written it before. Let's figure it out together. Come up with something, and then I'll see what you come up with and see if there are tweaks to be made." And that's it. I do not say no to any document, whatever it is, any type of writing. I can definitely pull it off. So you need to have that kind of mindset. And you should be willing to change. So let's say, for example, you started off as a copywriter. Maybe you want to build that brand for yourself. It's not a bad thing, yeah. But at the end of the day, if you feel like copywriting is not giving you satisfaction, it's not really satisfying that creativity in you as a writer, and you want to explore something else, please, you're free to do that. Don't cage yourself. A lot of writers that I've come across, writers that truly inspire me, maybe it's because of the kind of things I'm interested in, but a lot of writers that really stimulates me are writers that can write barely about anything. They can write about anything, they can write any type of document. Those type of people, those are kind of people that I want to learn from. So there are a lot of other things that I want to talk about, but maybe I'll just save you for another video because this is already getting too long. So these are some of the things that I wish I knew in my journey as a writer, and there's some of the things that I have started adapting myself to. Talking about not boxing yourself, not putting yourself in the box. I used to write professional documents, academic documents, business documents, and stuff like that. But quite recently, I started developing interest in more technical documents. We're talking software, we're talking hardware, we're talking Web3, we're talking cybersecurity, we're talking all those type of really technical documents, white papers, reports, and all of that. And then what I did was I reached out to people. So let me say this: you need to speak to people, you need to speak to writers, you need to have informational interviews with different types of writers because you can pick one or two things from their journeys. I do this often. I do this once in a while. I use what's this platform? ADP list. So I go on ADP list and I schedule calls with different writers in different fields that have varying experience levels. So I speak to writers that have 5 years of experience, 10 years of experience, 15 years of experience, those in Nigeria, those outside Nigeria, because I just want to get insights from their journey. How can I put it into what I'm doing? How can I become a better writer? This was something I wasn't doing before, but I'm doing now. So if you found this video helpful and maybe you have questions about writing or starting your journey as a writer, or maybe you're already a writer and there are certain things that you're struggling with, please let me know and let me know in the comments and we'll talk about it. Maybe I might make a video if I really need to explain. But if I do not need to explain, I could just, answer you right there in the comments. So send a comment if you will. And if you want to have like a one-on-one conversation with me, like I said, informational interviews are important. So if you want to do that, please head over to my Instagram and send me a DM and we'll schedule a call. Thank you for staying to the end of this video. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. I know you have. And if you haven't, please click that subscribe button and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.